But this my topic is a very big topic. I hope I can do justice to this, because it's very basic for us to know who we are as a people. And we were colonized by Spain, and after that, the US. And so, in a bago yung perspective natin, we began to view ourselves through Western eyes. So what used to hold sacred suddenly became worthless, our virtues turned into vices, and our strengths began to be seen as weaknesses. Anything indigenous became a source of embarrassment. Kinahiya natin. We would hide whatever is native sounding or native in origin. Pag may pangalan kayong John Smith, masaya Pilipino. Pag ginawang Juan Panday, ayaw na. We are happy with Mike Hammer. Pag ginawa yung Miguel Martillo, parang mabaho na. But it's the same meaning. No? Pagpapakahirap magkaroon ng pangalan, Marie Antoinette, maski hindi bagay sa apelyido, Marie Antoinette Luga-Luga, o mas mabuti pa nga ako siguro kung Marie Antoinette, kung mas mabuti pa siguro kung Alug-Alug Luga-Luga, mas mayroong rhyme, no? But Marie Antoinette and Luga-Luga don't fit. There's no harmony. So, centuries of being regarded as backward and inferior by the white colonizers engendered in us a collective self-contempt, a psychic malady that afflicts all of us, but most especially the elites. Why? Because they were the most exposed to colonial rule. But harnessing our own minds, understandings, definitions, categories, and concepts is certainly to have confidence, power, and control over our lives. And economic power naturally follows from this. Most people don't really understand soft power. Soft power is basically culture. The more prestige you have culturally, the more economic power you will have, because anything that you make will be prestigious, and people will like to have it. Look at what happened to Korea. Yung soft power na through their telenovela, soap operas, and to their K-pop, naging mataas ang stature ng Korea. Therefore, it follows that you will patronize everything Korean, including LG at yung mga Samsung nila. That's one reason, because of their soft power. No? That's very important. Imagine if you remove the Beatles from England, the moment you remove Shakespeare, what will happen? Bababa ang status ng England. And economic power follows cultural identity. No? For instance, if we worship alien ideas of beauty, whose artworks, music, fashion models, and beauty products do we glorify and spend for? If we do not develop our indigenous pharmacology and healing modalities like what they did in India and Bangladesh, how much do we spend for imported drugs and medicines? Unlucky. If we do not promote the excellence of our own games and sports, such as Arnis, Sipas, Samanggis of Mimaranao, and Kuntao of the Tausug, will not the world patronize Aikido, Fung Fu, Tai Chi, and Karate more than what we have, even if we can excel more by cultivating what is indigenous to us? Indigenous resources are readily available sa atin yan, at no cost at all, or requiring minimal capital. Our minds are in full command of the indigenous because they are ours. Thus, we can produce superior and creative results, unlike when we think with a borrowed mind. Ang mga Pilipino, okay naman mag-English. I like everybody to know more languages, but yung iba, lalo na sa Congress, pa-English, hindi naman talaga nakakapagsalita ng tamang, ewan ko na, yung mga thought processes are not necessarily correct, even if you speak English. No? Our indigenous strengths, cultural genius, is our contribution to the world and the best guarantee of attractiveness and success. Look at Japan. Japan's genius is precision, no? Precision in the micro level, and that's their genius, and they're very successful. In working with precision in the micro level, they are very developed, highly developed in microchips. That's why they have precision cameras and electronics. They're very good in nanotechnology, the technology of the very small. They're very good in robotics, no? Even capsule hotel, inimbento nila, maliliit na hotel. No? That's the Japanese genius. We will have a comparative advantage once we use our genius. No? What are our indigenous resources? Anyway, our indigenous resources are the basis of distinctive cultural identity. And in the world, anything distinctive, one with character, not anything bland and featureless, will be very important. No? And our main source of strength. Having no distinctive cultural identity is like having no name. We will be invisible. We will not stand out. Cultural identity is the basis of economic competitiveness. Look, ang gaganda ng mga pangalan natin. Once we use our names, I'll give you a few samples. Kasi ang mga pangalan nyo, if you have a name like, Juan de la Cruz, or at least maybe Rosendo Santos. This could be anywhere in the Hispanic world. You will not stand out. But the moment you have names like Akasi, so was talking to Carlo, sabi ko, Akasi is a Sambal word. God of well-being, or God of health. Alaya is Kapampangan. Ani is Ibanag for spring. Aro is Pangasinan for love. Maguindanao for mercy. Avid is Ibatan for beauty. And Abid, Mabid, parang ganda, maganda is Ibatan. Chaya is Bontok for heaven or sky. Equivalent of Celeste. Danim is poetry in Ilocano. About the one is Gadget of the Rainbow in Naga Bicol. Ang gaganda pangalan. Duri in Maguindanao is precious gem. Hamili is Cebuano for noble. Hiraya, Haraya, Tagalog or Visayan for vision. Kasi is Tagalog for love. Ang ganda pangalan. Kisa is Tausug for legend. Laya, alam niyo na yan. Lenos is Tiboli for wind. Likha, of course, you know that, no? Maris is Ilocano for color. Sadia, Cebuano for happiness, no? Sanghaya, this is all Tagalog. Charisma, this. Sidhaya is also all Tagalog. Eloquence. Mithi, alam niyo yan. Muni, reflect. Mnuri, magical bird in Maguindanao mythology. Sega, Blaan for sun. Sudi, Ilocano for brilliance. These are beautiful names. The moment you have names like this, you will stand out because you will not have what? Parallels elsewhere because we will stand out. Pag wala kayong identity, you will not stand out and you will not be noticed. Kaya tayo hindi mapansin masyado sa mundo. Of course, we have our own identity. Ang galing-galing natin na beauty pageants. We are also the best in the world when it comes to social networking, social media. Number one tayo. Ang galing natin makipag-connecta sa tao. You know? That's why we stand out in those things. And look, we stand out because we have identity like, look at when the Bayanihan performs, they have the rural suite where you have tinikling and maglalatik. We have the Moro dances like singkil. We have the indigenous dances like yung mga Fugao dances, no? Or mga dances ng mga taga Bukidnon. And we have the Maria Clara dances. Because of this, we stand out. That's why our dances are very unique in the world. They are not like Thai or Cambodian dances. We have many of this kind of distinctiveness in our intangible heritage, ICH. This is the wellspring of local genius. According to the UNESCO 2003 Convention, ICH is the mainspring of cultural diversity, and its maintenance is a guarantee for continuing cultural diversity. And these are the following domains of intangible cultural heritage: oral traditions and expressions including languages, performing arts, social practices, rituals and festive events, knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe, traditional craftsmanship. Ang yaman-yaman natin dyan. We're an old society. The older a society is, the richer it is in these things. Mga bagong lipunan like Singapore, Canada, white New Zealand, Australia, wala pa silang sariling identity because they are very new in this world. We are a very old society because the oldest Filipino Homo sapiens found in Cagayan, Peña Blanca, Cagayan, is 67,000 BC. Tabunman from Palawan is 49,000 BC. Kaya, the older we are, the more languages. How many languages do we have? At least 131 languages, not dialects. No? A new society will have one or just two languages. Tayo, matanda na tayo, ang dami-dami natin languages. And we are very unified. All of our languages came from one family. Kaya naman, obvious na obvious. Look at the correlations. Anywhere in this country, the Austronesian system of languages will have the core meaning in the last syllable. Nandun ang core meaning ng ano. If the core word in the last syllable is BA, it means weight or gravity. Kaya, tumba, because of gravity. Giba, gaba, in Cebuano is mabigat yun, karma yun. Masiba, matakaw yun, no? Mataba, marami ding weight yan, no? Lahat yan. Another word, ong. Anywhere in this country, ong means enclosure. Kabaong. Silong. Payong, kandong, patibong, kulong, lahat yan. It just shows you how unified we are all over the country. And last word, last core meaning, aw. Aw, anywhere in the country, has to do with wild, loose, and free, something that spreads. Aw, singaw, alingaw-ngaw, bugaw, no? Langaw, bangaw. Araw, nag-spread yan. In Ilonggo, lagaw-lagaw, lakad lang ng lakad, walang direksyon, no? Very unified, because we came from one language near Taiwan, no? That's the source of our... Ang tandaan natin, kaya ang dami-dami nating fiesta. How many fiestas do we have all over the country? Mas marami pa sa tami ng taon, marami pa sa araw ng taon. We are very rich in all of this, no? And there is so much creative diversity because we are an old people in our Philippine traditional cultures. Our indigenous peoples lead an enchanted life, being intuitively attuned and sensitive to the stirrings of the creative living energy within us, no? And in the amazing diversity of the natural world. A most striking quality of Philippine traditional cultures is their great creative diversity and richness. From ritual vessels to hunting tools, textiles to pottery and epic poetry to rhythmic dances, we witness a plethora of patterns and designs, an endless variety of expressive forms. Examples, ayan, ancient gold craft, ang gagaling natin yan, unsurpassed in Southeast Asia. Mga agabi and mga bulo like this, ifugao basket, rice basket from Palawan, gongs, gangsas, and the typical ifugao house, Banawe dances. Ang gagandang design, talagang very unique. You don't find this kind of design in other countries. The Maranao people are very artistic. And this is from Paite, Laguna, very, very beautiful frame for pahiyas in Lukban. And the Tiboli, traditional wear. Also, Ilocano abel is very, very difficult to make. Kawawa naman ang mga gumagawa nito. Sobrang tiyaga. Yung mga kabataan, wala nang tiyaga para ipagpatuloy pa ito. And it's dying art. I hope young people will be encouraged, inspired to continue the tradition. Abel, and this is the tree of life from the Sama people of Tawi-Tawi. Maranao, Maguindanao, Malong. Yes, Maguindanao, Malong, and Pisiabit of the Tausug. And ito, the Palawan people, no? Of Aborlan, very good maths. We are perhaps the best in the world when it comes to math making. Ang kagaling ng mga maths natin. Ito, Maguindanao Mas ito. Maguindanao Mas from Kumalarang, no? In Zamboanga del Sur. Now, what are the sources of this creativity? The necessary and sufficient conditions for this creative exuberance are rather complex and may never be fully understood, but some basic factors can be suggested. One, everyday life is infused with sacred values. There's a spiritual cosmology. Integration of uses and functions in everyday objects and activities. Hindi nagkakahiwalay mga bagay, no? Non-compartmentalization of human faculties. Bawat tao buo, hindi siya narrow specialist in one activity lang, o hindi siya engineer lang, hindi siya accountant lang, he's all around, no? But master of at least one. Non-highly specialized division of tasks, but more holistic cultivation of knowledge and skills, resulting in strong communal bonds. This is very important, strong communal bonds. Mass production is non-existent. Its product is uniquely created. Kaya its product is a work of art. The producers are also the consumers. That means people produce for their own consumption. Hindi magkaiba yung producer at saka consumer. It's the same community. Transmission of knowledge is basically oral. Social relations and interactions are highly communal rather than individualistic, and non-commodification of life. Itong commodification, you have to have a separate topic for this. Because the moment you always think of money, you will not be creative. At hindi rin kayo makakapag-heal. Psychic surgeons na naging mukhang kwarta na, nawawala ang powers nila. Very hard to explain why, but that really happens, no? Now, while you are creating, don't think of money at all, so that you will be connected with the collective unconscious or a larger universe, no? But it is very well that is being threatened by the homogenizing monoculture of global consumerism. Now, what are the core principles of Philippine ethnicity that foster creativity? Communal creativity is a basic source of the great diversity of Philippine traditional culture. In other words, this is the basic explanation why our traditional cultures are creative. They are communal in nature. And why? Because communal cultures allow people to be more expressive. If you are very close to others, you are more open. If you are with your family, you are more open, di kayo nahihiyang magtatawa, mag-iiyak. Therefore, you can be more expressive. Being more expressive, being more open, will enable you to bring out the innermost thoughts, innermost feelings, which are the most unique. And therefore, as a result, arts and crafts are richest, most creative, and diverse in communal cultures. Food is tastier. Mas malasa ang pagkain sa probinsya. Ang speech, mas merong melody, mas merong kayong punto pag nasa probinsya. Pagdating dito, nawawala yung punto nyo, nagiging straight, monotone. Because you can no longer be expressive. That in the city, you have a basic anxiety. Because people are not close to you. So medyo ilag kayo. So you cannot be more expressive. Medyo you are more protective of yourself, no? You're less emotional. Food is tastier. And things of everyday life more colorful in the provinces. That's very true. So, how are we being educated? Are educational institutions aware of this Filipino cultural strength, and are there adequate programs that are designed to affirm, enhance, and develop them further? Do we know what kind of intelligences are involved in the exercise of this capacity? Is it possible that those intelligence our school system is fostering are those that run counter to and thus weaken our native genius? Mukhang ganun na nga. Why? For example, why is it that our capacity for extemporaneous poetic debate, as in the traditional balagdasan of Litaw, why has it become almost extinct? Ngayon naman nagbabalagdasan, minimumorize na. Nung araw, extemporaneous yan. Our earlier poets extemporized their lines. Walang binabasa. Why are our chanting traditions like the Laji of the Ivatan disappearing? What happened to the strong self-help cooperative efforts made possible by the bayan and the spirit? It seems that now nothing in the community moves without money going around. Ang isang may kasalanan yung mga politiko. Para mga kampanya sila, binibigyan ng pera. Kaya tuloy ang mga tao ngayon sa probinsya ayaw na magtrabaho ng walang pera. The mainstream educational system that globalization promotes is a byproduct of the industrial revolution that began in the 18th century. Until now, that's what we are using. It trains people for narrowly specialized skills or professions designed to undertake one task as efficiently as possible within an economy or mode of production of goods based on the so-called division of labor. So it weakens the sense of community. The result is the diminution of the sense of self. Palit ang self nyo. Therefore, you become less and less creative. You become more and more of a consumer. Every professional or skilled person will have nothing in common with others. Kaya mahihirapan siya mag-communicate. And so it will be, every person will find it extremely difficult to develop communal bonds with them, especially professionals in different fields, because they are the most highly specialized, ironically, those who receive so-called higher education. And will find it difficult to communicate with one another and develop a strong sense of community. Nakakaroon yan ang metaphor yan sa Bible ay Tower of Babel. Kanya-kanya kayong tore. Hindi na kayo nagkaka-communicate. Especially prone to the diminution of social consciousness are professionals in the highly technical, narrow specializations. It used to be that a doctor specialized in EENT medicine. But eye specialists have since parted ways with the ear, nose, throat doctors. And now, there's even a left eye or right eye specialist, according to my wife, who's a medical doctor. Yes, my wife is here. Meron ng left eye, left right specialist. Paano mag-uusap yung mga yan? Maski mga doktor, hindi sila magkakaintindihan. How can you develop a sense of community? So what happens is, narrow technical professional education may develop expertise. Okay naman yan, no? But may also breed selfishness, lack of social responsibility, and professional tribalism. That's my term. Para sa akin yan, professional tribalism arises from the cult of the professional ego, promoting one's professions at the expense of public goods. Usually, when you think of professional advancement, when people think of professional advancement, they're only thinking of their own profession. They don't think of society as a whole. Kaya nga, who then cares for society as a whole? Kung panay professional advancement na pansarili. So it seems that with few exceptions, we have in our midst economists who formulate policies as if people do not matter. That's why E.F. Schumacher wrote that book, Small is Beautiful, a study of economics as if people mattered. That's the title of the book. Because many economists don't deal with people, they deal with figures. They think of economics in the abstract. That's why they are not able to solve problems in the world. Ang dami-dami ng economic problems, ang dami natin economists. Pero habang dumadami economists, parang dumadami problema. Scientists who pursue knowledge and informed by social consideration. Kasi kung meron kayo, if scientists have social consideration, why will they invent weapons of mass destruction? Wala silang social considerations. Artists who create for other artists and art experts alone. Mga artists sila lang nagkakaintindihan. Politicians who place party interests above all else, and officials more worried about self-preservation than their people's well-being. Yan ang napakarami sa Pilipinas ngayon. As long as our formal education system remains confined to net technocratic, purely secular or narrow specialization, which Jacques Berson, a French intellectual, calls specialism, psychological insecurity, inner imbalance, and the culture of power and wealth will prevail, which are all detrimental to communal creativity. And we will meet very few people with a wider social and ecological consciousness and capable of devotion to higher causes or serving others. Kaya nga sa ngayon, talagang bihirang-bihira na yung merong social conscience. As a counterpoint to the narrowing of consciousness in contemporary life, we may note that in our traditional communities, every person is socially nurtured to perform multiple roles. A farmer could also be a house builder, a healer, craftsman, artist, epic chanter, poet, musician, trader, and community leader, all in one. As a consequence, almost every person could easily identify with others. Nag-overlap kasi ang functions nila. Performing multiple roles makes it easy for identities to overlap, promoting expanded selves and a strong feeling of community, and establishing, therefore, the basic condition for creativity to flourish. In particular, the practice of art and functional creativity is not confined to this specialist alone, but is for everyone. In our village cultures, everybody is an artist. That's why there is no word for art in indigenous cultures, kasi lahat artist. Sabi ni Bertrand Russell, if everything were blue, nothing would be blue. No? Thus, there are also no special venues or spaces for artistic and other creative activities, because art occurs wherever and whenever there is human activity. Because art is for everyone in communal village cultures, we therefore have a vast resource pool of practitioners of arts and crafts, thus promoting creative diversity. For example, farmers become expert house builders, housewives become accomplished weavers, a barber, an excellent lute player. One of our national living treasures sa Mount Suleiman was the favorite barber of Mama Sapano in Maguindanao. Kilalang kilala siya, barbero, pero he's also a national living treasure. Manlilikhan ng bayan for the lute, kutyapi. No? Ganun sila, they are whole persons. Hindi na specialists. That is the ideal kind of education where you are made whole. No? Gaya ni Yoda sa Star Wars. On the other hand, in a consumerist market-driven society, people lead separate lives. Work is highly compartmentalized. Even employees in the same company seldom find themselves in communal situations where they could feel a sense of belonging and togetherness. Kaya mayroon pa silang team building once a year. And thus, because hiwa-hiwalay sila, there is an underlying condition of insecurity and fear because nag-iinggitan. No? Meron usually sa turfing, sa universidad, may mga turfing yan, turf wars. Therefore, there is an underlying condition of insecurity and fear, the anathema of creativity. In contrast, there are many rituals that our indigenous or folk peoples observe as a way of affirming shared values, as in our feast of devotion to a patron saint, communal weaving of mats inside the mouths of caves, group pilgrimages to sacred sites, or praying together for a bountiful harvest, promote an expanded or inclusive sense of self. Therefore, a concern for the common good, generosity, and extemporaneous creativity. Like this one, in summer, they weave mats together inside the mouths of caves. Kasi mas malamig dito, the tiko grass that they use becomes less rigid, nagiging mas flexible pag yan sa humid condition nila ginagawa. And they learn from one another. And they learn also to be unique kasi ayaw lang basta gayahin lang yun sa katabi. Kaya kanya-kanyang creativity. At the same time, there's a common template for everybody. No? Parang sa sinigang, we know the template for sinigang, maasim na sabaw, gulay, karne, but kanya-kanya kayong style. That's communal creativity. No? So art is integrated with everyday life. Work becomes a creative challenge and saves people from ennui or boredom and meaninglessness. That's why there is a sense of purpose in communal life. And process is more important than product. Kasi sharing eh. Hindi sila nagbebentahan sa isa't isa eh. So being integrated with everyday life, art utilizes a greater range of materials, forms, techniques, and ideas, or whatever is they use whatever is available. Kasi nga, kung part ng everyday life, you will use any available material. Hindi kailangan yung expensive oil, watercolor. They use any material for engaging in productive or creative work, allowing for wider and democratic social participation. Anything available look at this. Whatever is available. Look at how Di Maranao were able to create beautiful work of art from what? Pang-araw-araw na gamit yan. Because art is part of everyday life. So you may use anything that you find around you. This is what? That's your clue. What is it? Ganda-ganda. Based on the Naga design of Di Maranao, based on Maranao mythology, this is a kudkura ng nyug. Coconut grater, oh. Pwede pa kayong sumakay dyan. Kudkud kayo ng nyug. This is the concept of art in our traditional cultures. Art is always integrated with everything that you do. So that everything that you do becomes meaningful, becomes creative. So, what's the difference? In our modern life, the factory worker is just like the office worker. The work is meaningless. Paulit-ulit kayo na isang bagay na hindi naman creative. That's why it makes you sick or neurotic in the end. I advise you to watch Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. Kitang-kita niyo yung buhay ng factory worker doon. Na araw-araw, isa lang ginagawa hanggang magkaling neurotic siya. The craftsman, the artist, the factory worker works with his hands. The craftsman works with his hands and mind. The artist works with his hands, mind, and soul. Now, another very important factor for creativity in our traditional cultures is what? A channeling of the divine self. Naniniwala ang mga tao sa katutubo na hindi sila ang source ng power kundi galing sa itaas. Medium lang ang bawat tao. Talay-tayan. No? Daanan lang ng gift from the divine, from the muses. They believe in a sacred or transcendent source of inspiration is another essential factor. Very essential to. Kaya nga mayroon kayong mga dream weavers sa Tiboli, nanggagaling sa panaginip, nanggagaling sa kung saan, no? Another essential factor for the creative exuberance of Philippine traditional culture, exemplified in the Tiboli tradition of weaving from artistic insights obtained through dreams. The folk of Mount Banahaw in Dolores, Quezon often say that the beautiful melodies that they use in their rituals come from a higher source, a banal na tinig, holy voice. No? Narinig lang daw nila yan. When we are inspired, we experience being transported to this greater consciousness. It seems that we are not the source of creative power, but only a medium of the divine or higher forces. Wala na yan sa secular culture. Ang mga nasa secular culture, akala nila sila pinanggagalingan ng kapangyarihan. Kaya tuyot na tuyot. Inferior kind of creativity comes from the belief that you are the source of that power. That's individualism. Mahinang klaseng creativity yun. Unlike when you think that, look at Handel. While he was composing the Messiah, he did it in 15 days. It's a very long oratorio. Sabi niya, I saw God seated beside me. Ibig sabihin, meron silang pinanggagalingan. Parang ang bilis-bilis daw niya sinulat ng oratorio, the Messiah. They believe that we are but channels of divine inspiration is common to Philippine traditional cultures, especially among healers like the Babaylan or spirit healers who perform seemingly miraculous cures until they become money conscious, nawawala na yung miraculous powers nila. Totoo yan. I know many psychics na wala ang power nila kasi sumingil na ng pera. Dapat yan, donation lang eh. Like June Labo, Agpawa, wala powers nila because they became materialistic. No? The modern mind fails to recognize this origin of creative insights, deeper truths about life and goodness beyond our personal selves. As a consequence, people have been cut off from this deeper source of inspiration and have been reduced to mere consumers of mass-produced goods marketed by the merchant class and the global economy. And the division of labor and specialism required by the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century led to our present educational system, that emphasizes IQ, kagaya ng UP, panay IQ. Hindi naman nakakatulong sa silipunan yung IQ yan. And the more mechanical, yan ang naging emphasis, the more mechanical analytic aspects of the human intelligence, like the ability to sort out, to file, and so on, or classify in separate drawers, yan, IQ yan eh. So, I can speak about UP because taga roon naman ako. neglecting other faculties like self-awareness, ecological intelligence, communal intelligence, and belief in a higher divine self. Formal schooling in the Philippines has favored the analytical organizational ability of the mind, those abilities that are essential to sorting, ordering, and figuring out which can be measured by IQ tests. Why? Kasi nga, importante yan sa industry. So, what happened na repress yung deeper, more truly human dimensions of our intelligence like creativity. If you examine the intelligences that are involved in the development of communal creativity and one way to the higher self, we will realize that not one of them is among the intelligences associated with academic education. Wala sa academic education yung higher intelligences. Sa academic education, ito mga tinuturo natin, analytic intelligence, the ability to break down problems into component parts, naturalist intelligence, the ability to recognize and classify plants, minerals, animals. Kailangan sa industry kasi yan to classify products. Linguistic or discursive intelligence, a sensitivity to the literal and the technical meaning and order of words. Importante yan sa technology, engineering, and science. Mathematical quantitative intelligence, ability in the mechanical operations of mathematics and other complex logical systems of a quantitative nature rather than qualitative. How about right brain intelligences? Kasi these are left brain intelligences. Right brain intelligences, like mystical intelligence. Ewan ko, kung nagtuturo ng music dito. Performance, hindi talaga yung theory lang. Actual musical creativity or performance should be part of schooling. Because musical intelligence promotes all other kinds of intelligences. So spatial intelligence, the ability to think in pictures, to perceive the visual world accurately and recreate or alter it. Social intelligence, the capacity to effectively navigate and negotiate complex social relationships. Ito ang talagang wala. Itong source ng bayanihan. Communal intelligence, the capacity to perceive oneself and act as part of a group or community. Ngayon, mga tao ang yayabang na. As if they can, kuminsan, arrogant pa, as if they can exist alone without other people. No? Communal intelligence. Ecological, lalo pa ito. There's no sensitivity to what? The whole of nature. That is ecological animistic in the capacity to sense and harmonize with the living energy of plants and animals. Our katutubo have so much of this kasi meron silang harmony with the nature spirits. They respect nature. Alam niyo yung mga build. Ngayon, walang pag-alang sa kalikasan yung build program na yan. Maski lahat ng klaseng punong gaganda, titibagin yan para lang makagawa ng kalye, kung ano pang road widening na hindi man talaga kailangan in many places of the country. Psychic intelligence, a measure of how intuitively perceptive we are. Wala rin yan. Spiritual, especially this. Mystical intelligence, a sensitivity to or ability to sense the interconnectedness of all life. Ito ang dahilan kaya mabait ang ilang tao. They sense the interconnectedness of all life. This is also in Philippine terminology, this is concept of kapwa. No? This is the most profound teaching of all the great religions and the spiritual traditions. Aesthetic intelligence. This is not part of engineering education. I don't know about Salle, maybe, I suppose, no? But definitely, ang mga taga-DPWH, walang aesthetic intelligence. I can see that in their work, no? Creative intelligence, the capacity to generate new ideas, perceive unusual relationships. Creative intelligence is more difficult to facilitate and measure. In schools and workplaces, favor analytical intelligence because it trained us for efficiency, the highest value in the industrial and information economies of the 19th and 20th. Now, as we move into the more fluid and creative 21st economy, intelligence values are changing, hopefully. No? Also, traditional peoples are polymaths, meaning they are Renaissance men and women. That's the new term for Renaissance men. No? A too strict division of labor kills creativity. Why? Because the more extensive your knowledge of other fields, the greater is your creative potential. Human progress arises from an intersect of disciplines. In traditional cultures, every person is a multitasker. Though one woman might be the best healer or weaver, she does not do only that. Sabi ni Trigger, a psychologist, over-specialization eventually retreats into defending what one has learned rather than making new connections. Yan ang gagaling yung mga turfing, NBs. And it has been observed that it is not enough to develop a critical analytic mind alone. What is more important is the capacity to generate meanings, which can only come from an integrated rather than an overly mental being. This comes from an interdisciplinary orientation and full awareness, or better, immersion in diverse socio-cultural, political, and economic environments. That's why it's important not only to read books, but to travel a lot. Ang hirap-hirap magdala ng mga estudyante, lalo na sa Lasal, sa mga field trips. Katakot-takot na papeles ang kailangan papirmahan dyan. It's been well established that creative breakthroughs happen when fields, disciplines, and cultures intersect, because you can combine existing concepts into a large number of extraordinary new ideas. Importante yung interdisciplinary orientation. Writer Johnson has even given this phenomenon the name Medici effect, because it is very well seen in the remarkable burst of creativity in 15th century Italy. Kasi nga, the Medici family brought together people from many different disciplines, and they interacted very, very creatively, giving birth to the Renaissance. No? Ngayon, academic culture seems to be a curious legacy from the West, which makes us regard research and documentation, paperwork, and the construction of theories as a higher and loftier pursuits than the creative practice of traditional artists, healers, and masters. Kung wala yan, traditional artists na yan, paano na nakapag-graduate yung maraming MA at PhD holders? Ang naging dissertation nila, thesis nila, tungkol yun sa mga healers na yan, tungkol sa mga artists na yan. Tapos mas naging importante pa sila, nagawa ng paper tungkol sa mga dito, kaysa sa mga primary sources nila. Somehow Sulaiman could not teach in UP. The best teacher, the master of Kutiapi, could not teach in UP because wala siyang academic degree. He was not allowed to teach. Samantalang siya ang source ng nagsusulat tungkol sa Kutiapi. This is really ironic, no? The creative imagination, therefore, cannot flourish in an academic system where paperwork and grades are given more important than artistic and creative excellence. The overemphasis on academic achievement seems to be one reason for the diminishing number of plaster craftsmen, artists, storytellers in Philippine society. Masters will flourish better in the non-formal and informal learning context of communal societies or village cultures. Kasi nandyan lahat ng intelligences, many intelligences are involved in village cultures. At the very least, a guild type of apprenticeship and training will produce better artists than an academic setup. Diyan natututo mga masters. Raphael, Leonardo da Vinci, Rubens all started what? Being apprentices to the masters who came earlier than they. Kaya nga ang NCCA first established the schools for living traditions as early as 1995, where there is a master who will train young people in their own communities. And also, this is the reason why NCCA started implementing RA Republic Act 7355, the National Living Treasures Act, or Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan. Yes. The Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan, National Living Treasures Award, alternatively known as Gawad sa Manilikha ng Bayan, meaning creators of the country, is conferred to a person or group of artists recognized by the government for their contribution to the country's intangible cultural heritage. This law was passed in 1992, but first implemented by the NCCA in 1993. Who is the Manilikha ng Bayan? A Filipino citizen or group of Filipino citizens engaged in any traditional art, uniquely Filipino, whose skills have reached such a high level of technical and artistic excellence, and have been passed on to and widely practiced by the present generations in their community, no? With the same degree, sana nga, pero hindi usually nangyayari yan eh, with the same degree of technical and artistic competence. So, what are the qualifications for you to become a Manilikha ng Bayan? The candidate must possess the following qualifications: an inhabitant of an indigenous traditional cultural community. Ano yung traditional? Yung indigenous mga nasa living in the highland regions, mga Moro people, Muslim Filipinos, and lowland Christian folk. Yung tatlong yan. Hindi yung galing sa academe. It must be an inhabitant of an indigenous traditional culture community anywhere in the Philippines that has preserved indigenous customs, beliefs, rituals, and traditions, and or Philippinized whatever external elements that have influenced this community. Must have engaged in folk art tradition that has been existing for at least 50 years. Must have consistently produced over a significant period, works of superior and distinct quality. Kailangan mayroong body of works. Must possess a mastery of tools and materials needed by the art, and must have an established reputation in the art as master and maker of works of extraordinary technical quality. Must have passed on, kailangan willing siya magturo, or must be willing to pass on to other members of the community their skills in the folk art for which the community is traditionally known. Well, what are the categories that may be given the Manilikan ng Bayan Award? Folk architecture, maritime transport, weaving, carving, performing arts, literature, graphic and plastic arts, ornament, textile or fiber art, pottery, and others, no, that you may include. Now, there are currently 16 Manilikan ng Bayan, all of whom have exemplified the highest standard in their respective field of expertise. 16 lang kasi ang hirap maghanap. Sometimes very risky. We go to a place that is not necessarily safe. For example, you go to a war-torn area and you have to really be always on the lookout. Sometimes, there is no other means of transportation. The habal-habal. Nasa motor ka na, nasa magkabilang kahoy kami nakasira. One time, nakasakay pala, magkabilang plank, wooden plank. And one time, bigla may tumawid na kambing, bigla nag-break. Tapon kami lahat, tumulapon kami lahat sa kalye. That's why it's really very difficult. You have to really go over rugged terrains, climb mountains, and so on. But fortunately, we have found at least 16 really excellent creative artists. And it's given only to individuals or groups that have exhibited the highest possible standard in intangible cultural heritage. Now, the 1993 recipients are Ginaw Bilog, who has preserved really well the Sulat Mangyan, yung counterpart ng Baybayin, ang di Mangyan. He's from Mansalay, Oriental Mindoro. Umakit kami sa bundok niya bago namin siya nakita. It took us 2 to 3 hours bago makakit sa bundok niya. Yung isang kasama namin, hindi talaga makalakad, hinilan na namin ng lubid. Biniburi pa kami ni Anton Posma, who was living there. Sabi niya, sabi ko, are we near? No, 2 to 3 kilometers more. Yung pala, 5 steps na lang, nandun na kami. Niloloko pa kami. Haba-haba pa raw. Masino Intaray, no? From Brooks Point, Palawan. A musician and epic chanter for his Kulilal chanting tradition. This is usually love songs. Bagit, it's about nature. And he was also very good in the use of the traditional gong instruments, awarded in 1993. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2003, passed away to 2013. Mga namatay. Ang aga nilang mamatay kasi healthcare is not really well provided to these people. Ngayon, we're trying to give them free medical expenses para talaga humaba ang buhay. No? Sa Juan Sulaiman, we met him in Mama Sapano even before the trouble there started. I was there in Mama Sapano in 1993. We really looked at he's really, we found him in the barber shop. But he was the best kutiapi player at that time and even after. Maguindanao. No? So, ayan sila. Ginaw Bilog, of Sulat Mangyan, Brooks Point, Masino Intaray, and Samaon Suleiman. And 1998 recipients, we found only 2, no? Because ang mahirap maghanap ng iba. Lang Dulay is the very well known, he knew 100 designs, imagine. The designs of the Tinalak from Lake Cebu, South Cotabato. He passed away in 2015. Nagulat yung mga taga Lake Cebu because the first time that there's a grand national ritual during her funeral, yung necrological services, merong national band, the military was there, gulat na gulat yung mga katutubo doon. That was very great honor for them. 1998, and Salinta mo noon, from Bansalan, Davao del Sur, also very good in ikat. Ikat is also a baka, no? Tinalag is also a baka, or called ikat inabal. 1998 sila pareho. And this is Langdulay. This is Salinta mo noon. Langdulay's work, kay Langdulay ito, look at how intricate. Tie-dye yan, ha? Tie-dye. Yes. Paano nakakatagpo-tagpo yung mga iba-ibang strands to form these patterns? Very difficult. Really one of the most difficult. I challenge anybody from Manila to do this. Mamote kayo. This is by Salinta mo nun. Bagobo, no? Or Bagoba. Ganda-ganda. Now, 2,000 recipients, Alonso Saclag from Lubuagan, Kalinga, Master of Dance and Music, instrument maker. He also, if you happen to go to Awidon Mesa in Lubuagan, if you look at Awidon Mesa, parang plain siya out of the mountain, parang area that is plain, no? Kaya nga tawag Mesa. He built the 4 iconic Kalinga architectural types. You can visit anytime. It has become a tourist attraction. Ang ganda. So he can build houses, holy dances, and the musical instruments of the Kalinga. Federico Caballero has preserved at least 10 epics of the Sulud Bukidnon of Panay in Iloilo, Kalinog, Iloilo. So he was awarded for poetry and epic chanting. Especially, his language is Kiniraya, an older kind of Ilonggo and the more authentic, Philippine language, Ilonggo kasi marami ng infusions from other languages. Uwang Ahadas is a master musician of Yakan. He can play any Yakan instrument. The 2004 recipients, Darhata Sawabi, unfortunately, before the awarding in Malacanang to confer on her the award, she died. Hindi na niya abutan yung awarding ceremony. And we are now frantically looking for another one who still knows the weaving called Pisiabit. Pisiabit is a headdress, no? Usually worn by male warriors or bagani or mga matatapang na lalaki. And I don't know, I have not found any successor of the Data Sawabi. Eduardo Mutok from Pampanga. Magaling siya. Lola from Lolan Christian communities, Eduardo Mutok, metalsmith, metal sculptor, on bronze and silver. Haji Amina Api, a very good mat maker from Tawi-Tawi. Ayan. So their pictures. This is Darhata Sawabi. Look at the intricacy of her Pisiabit. Is Eddie Mutok, Amina Api. A work of, not exactly the work of Darhata Sawabi because namatay nga siya, hindi ako makakuha ng existing work niya, but this is in the style of Darhata Sawabi. Very intricate. The younger Pisiabit makers are no longer capable of doing this highly intricate work. Wala nang gumagawa ng ganitong kaganda unless there's somebody hiding in the mountains. We have to search for them, no? And his work of Eddie Mutuk, the metalsmith from Pampanga, Palit, Pampanga. You know, if you go to Fairview, the church there, yung church ornament there was made by Eddie Mutuk. And this is the work of Haji Amina Api. It's really a mat maker, superior mat maker from Sulu, no? From Laminusa, Sulu. Galing-galing niya. Look, how intricate. Akala ba niya madali ito? Naku. Baka you will need 10 years in order to do something like this. Another work of Amina Api. It's another one of her works. Now, the 2012 recipient, Teofilo Garcia, cask maker from Abra. called tabungaw, yung sombrero made from the gourd, no? Yung fruit container. Magdalena, Gamayo, master weaver of Pinili, Ilocos Norte. Weaving. For weaving. Yan na, yung ginagawa niya yan. Look, galing to sa gourd, yung talagang bunga, no? Parang upo. Okay. And Magdalena, Gamayo, look, at her old age, she can really weave something as intricate. This is one of the most difficult kinds of weaving. Because you have to be very precise. Look, saan nyo ilalagay? Look at that. Now, the 2016 recipients were Ambalang Austalin, master weaver from Lamitan, Basilan, and Estelita Tumandan, Bantilan, master weaver from Sarangani. Weaving the Balaan Igem. Very intricate kind of mats. Ito naman talagang grabe. Can you please get an example I brought here? Meron ako ang example na, kasi talagang it's very hard to do justice using photography to this. Can you please show it to everybody? This is a weaving that is being done by Ambalang Ausalin, master weaver. You know, hindi na, people can no longer make this. Yung right side, can you please put the right side? Anyway, look at how difficult it is, no? Hindi nila nagagawa yan. Very intricate. You need so much patience and perseverance, determination to be able to weave like that. Tumandan, master weaver of Balaan Igem, or mats, big mats. Mats sometimes as big as the panel from here, hanggang dun. No? And Yabing Masalon Dulo, the only remaining master of the of the traditional ikat weaving, the old style, which is very difficult. So, Ambalang Ausalin, typical of work of Ambalang, yan, kamukhang ganyan. Ganyan din ang ginagawa ni Ambalang Ausalin. Very difficult. And also, Tumandan Bantilan, a sample of her mat. Banigyan, ha? Baka akala niyo kung ano yan. Banigyan. Masuwalan Dulo, one of the most difficult kind of ikat or tie-dye weaving is on the abaka. Tie-dye yan. Ang tie-dye na alam natin, yung nilalagyan lang ng konting tali, ang kamiseta, tapos lulubog. But look at this. Imagine, huh? So, my recommendations for the preservation, no? By the way, if you are from DOT, sorry na lang, I don't believe in having a branding like, it's more fun in the Philippines. That does not do justice to the richness of our culture. The branding should be based on our creativity, like the Philippines, where life is a celebration. Kasi walang identity. Pag sabi more fun, where's the identity there? More fun. There's no identity. Yung sa Malaysia nga, okay pa eh. Malaysia, truly Asia. Di ba? Identity yun eh. It's more fun in the Philippines. Nasaan ang identity ron? You'll be attracting what? Those who only like entertainment. You'll be attracting pedophiles. Those who like casinos. Yun lang magkakaroon ng good time ng mga attract natin. That's not a branding. Ewan ko ba kung sino nag-iisip ng mga ganyan. Anyway, this is a program for revitalizing our intangible heritage. Strengthen communal bonds through the promotion of shared values and devotional rituals. Establish programs for holistic education. Provide incentives to polymaths. Hindi yung mga narrow specialist lamang. Walang masama sa specialization, but don't be a narrow specialist. Look at Michelangelo. He was a specialist in painting. Sistine Chapel. He was a specialist in architecture. He made the dome of the St. Peter's Cathedral. Siyang gumawa ng dome noon. He was a master sculptor. He did David and so on. Hindi kailangan isa lang specialization. You can specialize in 3 or more. Mali yung iniisip ng mga iba na you can only tackle one kind of specialization. That's not true. Rachmaninoff was a great pianist, great composer, and great conductor. Ngayon, look at sobrang narrow specialization. Zubin Mehta is only a conductor. Cecil Dickens is only a pianist. Stravinsky was only a conductor. Wala na. And they are not necessarily more creative just because they stuck to one. Picasso was a stage designer, theater designer, painter. Kaya very creative siya because nagkaka-intersect yung iba-ibang arts sa isip niya. No? Encourage a sacred view of the world, a profound respect for the spirituality of creation. Naku, mahirap yata ito sa Lasal or lalo na sa UP. Spirituality of creation. Pag masyadong commercial ang orientation, mahirap ito, no? Integrate art in everyday life. Uphold one-of-a-kind productivity rather than mass production of goods. Make everything artistic, an artistic challenge. Uphold the multi-valuation of human activity and product rather than judge everything according to economic criteria. The arts have to be promoted as they are in traditional cultures, an exploration of the multidimensionality of human experience, not just art for art's sake, not only for entertainment, but also for healing, magic, ritual, vehicles of social interaction, evoking different states of consciousness, and many other psychosocial, spiritual functions. Prioritize the safeguarding of intangible heritage of the creative inner life over mere collection or repository of objects. Ensure the viability of the outstanding traditions of arts and crafts in many cultural communities with priority given to worthy practices in danger of extinction. And an institute for the purpose of protecting, sustaining, researching, documenting, promoting, and developing the most outstanding living traditions in the Philippines needs to be established. Salle can take the cudgels for leadership here. An institute for living traditions. Wala pang ganon sa mas anong eskwelahan. Institute for living traditions. The cultivation and wise utilization of our cultural assets, our ethnicities, our indigenous knowledge systems, skills, and practices is our comparative advantage in global society. Our IKSP, or indigenous knowledge systems and practices, is an inexhaustible resource and thus the basis of sustainable development. Therefore, it's high time that we take a different path, not one where the obsession with GDP excludes the majority of our people from the development process and only makes the rich richer, but one that harnesses to the full our indigenous strengths for a truly sustainable future. Recognizing the significant role of our traditional cultures as the basis of social progress will inevitably empower our traditional peoples whom we have excluded from the development process for such a long time. So, marami pong salamat.